favor. Alpha Aetheris are absolutely the underdogs in this game, no doubt about it. But you know what, Stokes? Every single match on the B stream so far has been an upset. Every single game. Last game, it was Bliss 30% to 70 for Wolves. And that's almost as biased as this game is to Space Station. I do not want to count Alpha Aetheris out.
Great day to be a caster. Terrible day to be a player. Terrible day. But definitely make us happy and pretty entertaining for you folks at home as well. Ying and Blitz going to be removed here for the offensive side. I really like this ban here, especially from Space Station. They're going to be starting things out on defense, so limit that execution potential. The Blitz coming through as well. You really have to respect Space Station's ability to play things out with shields. Obviously, that's going to leave the Monty up, which in my personal opinion, I think is much more of a detriment to the playstyle of Skyscraper. So I don't exactly like that, but that could also be the fact that, well, Hask might really like Monty in comparison. If Hask doesn't like Blitz as much, and obviously Hot and Cold does, that ban makes a lot of sense. We'll round it off with a defense here. We got Solus and Fenrir out. Both of those operators in their own regard, pretty insane, pretty busted. I mean, it's really, really awesome whenever the defenders are able to get their meaty claws into these characters.
I was talking to Pengu, and he told me that Brazil has really been loving Montaigne in Stage 2 of BR6. And funnily enough, Husk and Kamikaze...
He would notice that, wouldn't he?
He would. The Monty main himself, the greatest to ever do it.
What a loser. I'm just kidding.
Then Husk is going to bring it out. He's actually one of only 2 Brazilian players on this majority Mexican roster. So Husk, and hang on a second, Kamikaze, what year is it? Is this the 2021 Ninjas in Pajamas Six Invitational champion who's subbing in for Alpha Aetheris? Let's address the elephant in the room. Matumbo couldn't make it to the event. These guys were gifted an emergency sub, and what a gift it was. A player of Kamikaze's caliber and pedigree, that is an insane addition to Alpha Aetheris.
Yeah, that's crazy. This is like, oh, we lost our quarterback? Well, I'm going to go get Tom Brady.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I'm not even American, I get that reference.
Yeah, exactly. So gotta try and reach an international audience here, my Aussie boy. Ivan, let's see if he can do terrible things to the defenders here. Fultz is going to be the first one in his way. Trying to see if he can try and transition this into a kitchen take here, which I'm a little worried about this if he goes it solo. Does have that call, but we'll just have to see.
Yeah, that call was good, but I don't think there was any follow-up from Space Station, or from Alpha Aetheris rather, to try and get information on those Space Station players. And Fultz hasn't actually fallen back yet. Listen in. Hasn't heard anything yet, but he jumps in regardless as Fultz has completely vacated the position.
Not a bad gig. That call still ringing through. Trying to push things through downstairs. Some track stingers out here. Ivan can cross these without making any audible noise. He won't get stabbed or make any difference of audible noise coming from his feet. So we'll give Ivan up. We'll most definitely hold the defenders at bay. He's going to rotate his way up. Now stairs here, rather restaurant stairs. And here it comes. Ev, we're back to the hallway. The one spot we all hate about this map, and definitely a very hot commodity for the defense, something that they are easily able to exploit. It's going to start early here with J90 taking down Hask.
Yeah, good early pick. As you said, it's going to be a game of choke points here. It looks like Toski is already taking control here of Drum and Shrine. Massive advantage now for the attacking side to do so. However, losing a player is not really a worthy cost for it. Now a nade goes in. Love seeing the gridlock nades coming through. Everyone's been talking about it, but J90 still holds on to his position in Dragon, and that's really where you need these nades landing.
Well, sub-minute now. This is what you expect out of this map. Back and forth right here in this central hallway that we always tend to lean into. Toski's got a lot to deal with. Force is going to be able to take down Kamikaze, and Toski, nothing to do. The single panel behind him is reinforced as well. It's just a masterful setup from Space Station, and when you have such a beautiful squad and such a beautiful strategy as so, it's going to make things a little bit too difficult, especially with the way that Alpha Aetheris has been going about things. Pretty one-dimensional on a lot of these things. I've been seeing a lot of angle holding and then just a portion of the map being worked by maybe 1 or 2 people, but just not really what you want to see, especially with what we saw around Drum there, Dev. I really don't like how they addressed that whole situation. They just kind of kept gridlock there, and Toski eventually just got antsy enough to push forward, and he died. And that was really the round.
Very much so, yeah. Really strong round from Space Station. Doesn't get much better than that to kick off your major, a flawless round. Alpha Aetheris, as you said, had really no idea of how to clear those positions. One by one, they fell into the meat grinder. And Space Station, despite picking the second favorite bomb site in the first round, and now going for the third favorite, they haven't gone to Tea Room Karaoke yet. They're having quite a lot of success here. And I'm very happy for Space Station that they are on this comeback. Yes, it was a challenging stage 2, not making it directly through the NA League. They had to go through those LCQs. But this edition of Ashen, everyone's been talking about, this is the youngest player at the event right now. He's a real young gunner. He's brought a lot to the table for Space Station.
Very sparky in personality and in gameplay. And that's something that I have a lot of respect for. I mean, anytime I've interacted with him, hotel, you know, him playing the game, doing whatever, just always been a very nice guy, very candid guy, and seriously appreciate that out of him. So see if we can continue on here with Space Station and link together some rounds. They're going to have a pretty interesting setup up top. The Mute Jammer out here for Jane, I know. And this is more than likely just going to make it to where he can move around outside if they did have something like a Lion or something like a Dokkaebi. He can just stand here, they can bring that call in, and they're going to have no idea that this guy's just standing here waiting with open arms.
Yeah. Very cheeky from J90. We'll see if it pans out for him. I wouldn't put my hopes on it. Meanwhile, Ashen down below is tempting fate with these windows. Simple work from Alpha Atheris just to try and take down a lot of these cameras from outside, as it looks like they're going to do a top-down take, which I think is the right play here, Sam. Get rid of that top-floor pressure, look to try and finish off Geisha, and then focus your attention on the bomb site.
This is what Monty's gorgeous for, right? Whenever we look at Skyscraper, when we look at Monty gameplay, we're always thinking about Black Stairs and the potentiality for him to move in from that top balcony. It's a really beautiful setup that allows you to get a lot of pressure on things like T, things like Karaoke, and it creates that hammer and anvil effect that you hear Pengu talk about a lot, where you're able to get that pinch off. And that is what we're looking here for Alpha Atheris. It's just that they need to follow up, and also remember, they have to transition this into the basement.
True, well, Hask is this Monty, and he's taken a few bullets to the shield from the long angle, but he's gotten so much information for his trouble. Hello, Ashen. He teases him a little bit, unshielding. Ashen decides not to overcommit. That's really good out of a rookie player to not overcommit in that engagement and instead fall back. Great work from SSG so far as they keep this Monty at bay. What are you doing, hot and cold? Look behind you. It may have worked, though, to bait a kill or 3, it seems, as Space Station spring into action. A kill for 3 different players. False doubles down. It's all up to Kamikaze now. Left alone on the window rappel. And he's got a lot of thinking to do.
Well, as soon as there is any ignition at all, Alpha Atheris send it into the wind, and that's exactly where it goes. Off to the 4 corners of the earth. It's down to Kamikaze, the previous hammer lifter, as he tries to figure out this 1 versus 4. And also Kamikaze, one of the people that gave Space Station a terrible time in winning their hammer back at SI 2020 as well. So pretty cool to see them have this interaction up against this ore once again. Obviously, all of these players minus Fultz have changed. So pretty interesting story with that. And Fultz also being the one to close out the round. Very well done from Space Station, as they will get the big dub here on round 2.
There is Big Man himself, SI champion of the past, just like Kamikaze on the other side, as you said. And here's the young gunner, Ashen. Hot and Cold is actually one of the most experienced players in the game as well. He's been playing for a hell of a long time.
So crazy.
He had such a long stint on DZ and back when they were Flipside.
Yes, my boy,
my
please.
Flipside homies, man. I still have the Flipside charm
Oh,
in game.
I got to give you a hug on that one,
mate.
bro. Come on.
One
Yes,
of my favorite teams from back in the day. I wish we had the camera on us for a minute. We could just hug it out on stream.
Yeah, right. No, dude, anytime that I want to show people how long I've been invested in the esports of this game, I always show off my Flipside charm. That's like a I'm an OG.
Flex, yeah.
Exactly. You either do that or you start bringing out like the very first iteration of the esports skins, and then everyone's like, "What? Why do you have that?" Well, it's because I'm him. That's why.
You are that guy, Sam. So as you can see on screen, even though Space Station currently are all but confirmed for SIE with 99.8%, if they win this, they're 100% locked in. Nobody can knock them out of SI contention. Alpha Atheris, on the other hand, with this being their first international event, it'll be a much bigger challenge. However, if Alpha Atheris do win this game, funnily enough, Team Bliss and Dark Zero will be confirmed for SI. 2 teams completely irrelevant to this matchup. An interesting fact nonetheless.
Yeah, especially this time of year, that's how it starts to work out.
Yeah.
It starts to become less of what your efforts are and a lot more of how the stars line up. And Alpha Theris could be the shooting star that both of those teams need in order to make it to the Six Invitational in Brazil this coming year. Ivan's going to be the very first one to strike true here in round 3, as he'll take down Jane. I know that's going to be Jaeger gone, but still have a long road ahead of them. They're going to enjoy that pick, but they can't rest on their laurels. They'll continue down the war path and see what they can potentially get done. Especially with Hosky's position, this is definitely something that they can use to the fullest extent of the law. They've got grenades. He's more than likely got the secondary super shorty. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do with a Gridlock, especially now with the way that she has been built up in recent history.
Yeah, going for vertical nades, going for great shots with the F90. I mean, she's got it all. The only real weakness to Gridlock is her speed. If she was a 3-speed, you'd be seeing her every round, mark my words.
Even if she was 2, honestly.
Oh, yeah. She even has Gon 6, by the way, if you don't want to go for that super shorty. The
Wow.
Gon 6 is fantastic. I think they may have actually removed it when they added the nades, because I know that they don't want both. But here comes Hot and Cold. He's teased out his position. Thanks to the Dokubi call, the logic bomb. Ivan doesn't want to hunt it, however. Alpha there is showing a lot of restraint right now.
Something that's a necessity of a situation like this, too. Space Station wants you to make that critical error. Just take your time. I mean, you've earned it. 1 minute and 15 seconds. So many places to put this case,
no,
but Hask, and this is exactly what you and I were fearing. We didn't want them to overstep into Space Station's utility. I mean, although they might still have it, Fultz is very low. He's going to go for this swing.
No!
He prones it out, and I do believe that he at least gets it. There's going to be one down, but Ivan will clean it up. So Alpha Theris will get the round, but Hask, we've got to be a little bit more patient on these executes.
It's true. It was a very ambitious one there for the Monty, but fortunately, after an early pick there for Alpha Atheris and consistent work during that mid-round, they managed to pull it back, despite impressive heroics on the Echo, finding 2 kills at the top of the back stairs. But first round on the board for Alpha Atheris. It's not bad.
And it's on the bomb site that is the most won on this map, too.
Strangely enough, the most favored bomb site by most teams ends up being the least favored to the defense.
Dude, I'm telling you, you put Forrest on a roster, you're just bound to have crazy stuff happen. it's just the nature of the beast, I'm telling you.
A lot of creativity on this team, for sure. There's no doubt about it. SSG is always known for it. And, I mean, bringing in all of these players from the old Astralis roster as well, you're getting so much more firepower and like that kind of... I don't necessarily want to call them, like, young players, because they've been around for a while now, but compared to, like, the old guard of Fultz and Hot and Cold, they have a much more modern view of the game.
Dude, it's so crazy that Fultz is considered an old guard player now. Oh, dude, time, it just keeps going. Oh,
I mean, it was nearly 4 years ago this guy won an SI, so I think he is old guard now.
Oh, man. You're so right, too. That's the worst part. Why do you have to be right? Well, that being said, especially actually considering, just to go back to your point here for a second, Callout also on this roster, too, is their head coach, which is an awesome thing, bringing over the staffing that made that Astralis roster so very special. Some of the other players obviously spreading to some different corners of the earth, specifically Iconic, who we'll see later on in this tournament. One of my favorite players inside of North America. It's just really, really cool what Astralis was at the time and what they have came to be throughout the entirety of the Rainbow Six Siege ecosystem. We're about 40 seconds in now, folks. Not too much action to be had just yet. Toski's taken a tad bit of damage, and we're really just MacGyvering around these windows. A nice find for Hask here as Ashen's hands are sticking a little bit too far out, and he doesn't even get a chance to try and send a shot Hask's way.
Yeah, look, even on land, I don't think you're going to have reaction time to make that one work, Ashen. Nice idea, but an early pick against Space Station is what spelt defeat for them in the previous round, and I wouldn't want Ashen to be getting too aggressive like that consistently. Hosky's doing some good work getting vertical gain to try and take down any potential aggressive players or wall denial. Of course, we can see that it's simply the mute jammers which will now be disabled, in theory. I can see one still at large, perhaps near the minibar, so yeah, indeed, that one will not be destroyed from below.
That's all fine there. Mute Jammer over here for the side panel, too. They'll get rid of the drones, and that drone economy not looking too hot to trot right now, Dev. Halfway through the round, we got 3 drones left, but Jay wants to try and send it in. They've got the ace over inside of the other portion of the site as well. Jay will be able to take down Forrest as everything has reached a critical point for Space Station. I don't think that they were ready for this full-on assault out of thin air. Not even any info, not anything at all. Alpha Theris just send it, and it works. It's down to Hot and Cold into 1 versus 4. We've seen this man do some crazy things before, but I highly doubt he makes it out of this situation. It's going to be Hask that seals the deal and ties things up here on Skyscraper.
Damn, look at that energy as well from Hask at the end of it. Ivan getting up and about to Alpha Atheris. Getting very excited. They're now even with Space Station, 2 rounds apiece, and that was quite a saucy one as well. Not every day that you get to see an Amaru sent up a hatch directly into the damn bomb site. It was Forrest actually playing the mirror in that bomb site who seemed completely clueless to the fact that Amaru had just jumped up. I have no clue whether he didn't have his headset on right or his audio settings are a bit off, but he really should have heard that and he really should have found that kill. Because he didn't, Alpha Altheris steal the round.
Yeah, we'll give him that slight tad bit of a benefit of the doubt. You know, when that gunfire starts happening and stuff like that, things start to really blend together. You know, but yeah, I'm definitely with you in that boat. That's a situation where you just kind of expect him to win out that, but obviously completely caught off guard, was not prepared for somebody to magically appear from that hatch, and it went swimmingly for Alpha Theris. I think the crazy thing for me in that round there, Dev, is that they drone out the site. They really don't get all that much info. All those drones get destroyed. And then they just send it into site anyways on practically no info, but they get all the picks necessary to get a plant down and get a victory.
Objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Now, Space Station have a few things to think about here, Sam. They've just failed to win on Tea Room Karaoke. They've failed to win now on Exhibition Office. Those are the 2 most popular sites on this map. Now, yes, they've won Kitchen Barbecue previously, and it was fairly dominant as well, but repeating it now is only one step towards securing this half. A 4-2 is definitely what Space Station are going to be looking for. This is Skyscraper after all. You don't expect the attack to have a lot of favor here.
Yeah, most definitely. And the most interesting thing about this so far for Alpha Theris is that they're getting things done, especially in their round victories, right, in such a unique way. It's not really powered by their hardcore info game or things like that. It's really just pure grit that they're using up against Space Station right now, and it's working out for them. We've seen some really interesting moments due to that fact, but, I mean, if it's working for them, which it clearly is, it means it's working for us.
Yeah. And hey, like I said, I'm biased towards the upsets. Nothing against SSG, but I would love to see Alpha give them a real run for their money. Have a look at that from Hask. Nice. He snuck past the Mozzie Pest. That is phenomenal. And now he's going to get so much information on the back of that as well. He's cleared Karaoke now. He's about to clear T. And this is a huge boost now for Alpha Theris attack. They can start to accelerate here.
Yeah, you don't see that every day. I mean, usually you expect them to be close to the door. A lot of people not putting those, you know, pests on the very bottom wood pieces anymore because people just shoot them. But so crazy, that little panel, just that little panel piece at the bottom of the reinforcement on the door is just enough to make it to where that drone can slip by. It's all about games of margins here when it comes to Siege, whether it be utility or firepower. Now here, and in 10 seconds remaining, Alpha Theris do have top floor control. Do not have a lot of verticality to play into this, though. Toski might have a secondary shotgun that he can use to try and break up some of that flooring, but they're really going to try and find a home here inside a barbecue, I assume, to try and get this plant down. Toski's going to get gunned by Ashen, who finally hits his mark with this M590 that he's been looking for so very long.
Looking for another one, Ashen. You know you want to take this fight. There's not a lot of vision, but he gets the timing down perfectly. Forrest and Fultz spring into action. Kamikaze. It seems like it's a kamikaze mission for him. 1v5. Not a hope in the world to make this one work. SSG have brought it back once again. Alpha had quite a bit of momentum building on the back of those last 2 attacks, but SSG are now putting them back in their place. Patience exuded from Fultz and Hot and Cold on this top floor as they patiently hold this position. Hot and to find the final one and a second flawless round in this game for SSG.
Looking solid. When Space Station have a definitive advantage, it's really difficult to try and grasp it away from them, right? And I mean, we really have to highlight Ashen there as well. The patience on that secondary swing. You never really expect it from these young guns, right? They usually tend to want to get in the face of the opponent, really just show off their gusto, but instead he just plays it out. Plays it for timing and gets that shot directly into his back. Instead, doesn't even have to take the gunfight, just quickly cleans him up. Might have a break here for a second, folks. We're going to get some info on this and where the last Alpha Theris player is. We don't know if it's a glitch on our HUD. We don't know if there's a player not, in there. We'll just have to find out. It looks like we are having a little bit of a tech issue, so we're going to take a pause here for just a split second, but this does give us some time to talk about what the hell we have just been witnessing here in between these two teams.
a lot of things. I don't know. I'm sorry to distract. I just want to say, hey, look at these matching mouse pads. That's nice.
Dude, they want to be me so bad. Everybody's got artisan mouse pads now, dude. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Are you a trendsetter? Everyone else is just a follower.
Dude, it is. I got the Shindekai mouse pad before anybody even knew what artisan was. I ordered that thing out of Japan, and then like a year and a half later, everybody's getting artisan mouse pads, dude. And then now, I mean, this is like 3 years later now. Everyone has them. But I will say this. Shout out to Artisan. They make great mouse pads. Obviously, there's a lot of other things as well. But, hey, I'm just telling you. Dude, I'm really sad that they took away the Shindekai mouse pad. It had, like, glass beads in it, and it was, like, the best gliding mouse pad I've ever owned in my life. They don't make it anymore because the glass beads will work their way out of the cloth. So, yeah, that's my little soapbox there for mouse pads, folks.
I didn't know that you cared this much about mouse pads, man.
Dude, I'm so specific about the things that I use. Like even if it's a tiny thing. Like, for instance, I tried, like, the Super Glide mouse skates recently, and I tried them on like one of the very slick mouse pads, and there was just like a slight grab when you moved your mouse. None of my roommates could feel it at all. I was the only one that could. And then one of my friends used that exact setup for a week, and he came back to me and was like, yeah, I had to change the mouse pad because I could start feeling that grab. So maybe I'm just a little special in the head.
I think
that's okay.
Your attention to detail is as much of an asset as it is
a detriment.
Well, I think a detriment just for you, man, because that's going to get in your head, and you'll be like, I cannot use this mouse. Dude. Absolutely not.
Literally me yesterday trying to play games on my laptop. I'm like, oh, this isn't my home setup. Oh my gosh. But
you know what's funny? Just a bit of a segue. A lot of these players that aren't used to playing on LAN, that's exactly what they experience. I remember talking to Bliss after Copenhagen, and they were blaming their equipment. They were saying, oh, we couldn't get into it because we're so used to our home setups. Man, like, this is LAN. You got to get used to this environment. If you want to be a pro player, you need to be able to adapt.
You know, just to bring up good stories, and especially good stories about a really good friend, Michael Stockley. There was a moment. I want to say it was SI 2021. No. It was one of the SIs, but we had like a couple of different gaming stations that we could use as casters, just kind of mess around and whatever. And dude, I walk into the room, and this is like the very first time that I walk in there. Michael's trying to figure out his entire setup. He's like, nah, this isn't good enough. And like I was talking to some other people doing this, that, and third. I walk out, I come back. This man is sitting on 2 stacked chairs. And I go, Michael, what are you doing? And he goes, my arm didn't have a high enough angle for me to use my mouse correctly, so I had to stack the chairs so I could sit high enough. I was like, you know, and after I've told you all this, what did I say? I was like, that's valid. I'd have done the same thing.
Oh, for sure, man. Oh, I think he was onto something there. That's genius.
Dude, the double stacked chairs. Nobody was expecting that strat.
Oh, that's amazing. I love it.
Indeed. But back to the nitty-gritty in between these two. It's 3-2 in favor of Space Station Gaming. Alpha Atheris have gotten things done in some pretty creative ways. It hasn't been through like mostly traditional means like we've seen. Obviously, they're still, you know, being attentive to those, trying to use their drones, trying to do this, trying to do that. I think that they're just a heck of a lot more prone to throwing it in the wall and hoping that it sticks when it comes to Space Station, blocking off a lot of different portions of their strategy. Instead of just being fearful and stepping back and be like, oh, we really don't know what to do in this situation, they're like, well, let's just send it. What's the worst that's going to happen? We're going to lose the round anyways? Oh, no.
Yeah, I think Alpha Atheris have really struggled when it comes to methodically, map clear, and then clear the utility, clear the power position, clear the setup. Those are the things that Space Station's bread and butter, and Alpha's really struggled with it. Where they have succeeded is doing things a little bit unorthodox. Hey, what if we get them onto and we try and brute force something, we bait out picks, and then we convert a 4v2? That is the strength of this Mexican-Brazilian roster, and that's what I want to see a little bit more of. Yeah, you could say, oh, they really need to address these issues head on. Let's be real. When you're in a game, you cannot learn how to do something that you are not capable of doing. Instead, you have to try and reach your skill ceiling. Your skill ceiling is already set when you launch up the game and open the server. Practice is for another time. That's when you improve. Getting into the game, you just need to try and be your best that you can be in that moment, right? Alpha Atheris are good at trying to exploit brute force and baiting for kills. Go for that. Double down. Final round of the half. Let's see if we can end at 3-3.
One of my most hated questions, man. What do I play? Oh, I don't know. What do you play? You know, like if you tell us what ops you want to play or what character you want to play in the game, then we'll figure something out from your list. But you need, as you said, you need experience with these things. You don't just fire from the hip and hope something happens. It's especially up against a team like Space Station. So stick to what is working, stick to what you know, and it will get you a heck of a lot farther than you think.
Worked so far by both teams, in fact. Ashen really quick here with the Azami. Not only is he able to trick that Selma from fully detonating and opening a line of sight, but he also plugs up that line of sight then with the Azami's Keeper barrier. So that's a really good start here. And now the question is for Alpha Theris, how are they going to deal with that position? How are they going to deal with this impact tricking Azami inside Geisha? Uh-oh.
Well, the crap part is that they have to find a solution pretty quick because they've already burnt a minute. We're now in crunch time, all things considered, when it comes to clear. But Ivan will actually fix that up. We didn't get to see this angle just yet.
Ivan.
Yes, Ivan! Very well done. Pantry is the play, and he'll get 2.
One more. Come
No
on,
way.
Ivan.
No way. So much damage. He can't miss right now, folks. Put him on the Texas Rangers. Incredible. Man. 2 pitches, practically 2 strikes there as well. Incredible stuff out of him in those frag grenades. Ashen on such very low HP. Forrest and Fultz now really have to pick up these pieces.
There is still a chance here for SSG, though, even for Ashen, but man, he's so low, and he's terrified. He starts to move back towards Drum. Ivan on the other side, also low HP. What is the play for Alpha Atheris? A minute left.
Slow and steady wins the race right now for Space Station. You can see what is at least building up to be a hold for the next strike from Alpha Theris. But Alpha, especially with the man advantage, there's so many different ways that they can work this and try and pull Space Station into different positions that won't exactly be beneficial to them. Fultz is going to get droned out, and that's going to force him back over to the far side of T. Some bullets hanging along, and some bullets now being delivered here, too, as Hask knows exactly where that man is. The craziest Zone 6 I've ever seen in my entire life is to launch that across into the ether. I don't even know what he was going for, but hey, screw it. Ashen's going to get, no way, 2 on such a low HP bar. That's not supposed to happen. Hask and Ivan both low as well. They have to know that Ashen's in Drum. There's no way.
Ashen's brought this one back for SSG. It was 3v5.
No, they don't.
And now he's made it 3v2. The triple kill for the youngest player at the tournament. As Alpha Atheris look to force down this plan. Forrest will not allow it. SSG 4-2 in the half. And Ashen cannot believe it.
Oh, I can't either. So I'm genuinely at a loss for words. That is insane that Ashen was not only able to stay alive, he gets 2 extra kills after getting naded down to 5 HP. No one has any knowledge of him being there at all, and he already killed some of your teammates from that exact position. They still overlook it. Huge oversight by Alpha Atheris, and now you no longer have equal footing. You're down by 2 rounds.
Well, on the flip side, I will say, I feel like SSG had to win that round. It's defense on Skyscraper, right? But on the other hand, Alpha Atheris have just fumbled a certain round. And that has got to get in their heads. They need to pick up the pieces. They need to get back on that horse because the momentum that they had in the middle of that first half has completely evaporated.
Most definitely. And that's the thing about that side switch, too, is it already takes quite a bit of wind out of your sails. Even if you're looking pretty hot, right? You know, you have 4-2, 5-1 half. You still have to reinsert yourself into the game in a different way because that's what it is. It's a different game. You're now playing a completely different set of rules, different operators, a lot of things that change up for you and your teammates. So, Jane, I know, speaking of changing things up, Ashen's going to follow this train of thought, too. It's going to be Doak as well as Flores that works their way in. Been seeing a lot more of Finka nowadays again. Yeah. Those frag grenades really giving her a lot of love, and it's clearly working out.
Back into the Finka meta, I think. Looks like the element
for better or for worse.
I mean, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. With the state of how many entry fraggers have been nerfed in this game, I think it's fine to have Finka back in the game. And also, people always forget how nice it is to have that little health boost in the mid-round, especially when you take a bit of early damage. Toski, though, on this roam with the Ela, we've seen quite a bit from him. He's playing together with Jay on this roam game, but Space Station are not actually looking to map sweep laterally at the moment on that second floor. Instead, there's quite a few lurks going on. We can see Forrest downstairs in the bathroom, putting a bit of pressure towards figuring out where he might be able to snake his way to. Wouldn't
you know, Space Station clearing the map pretty methodically. and make sure that they do not overstep their boundaries and give an early pick over here to Alpha Atheris, although Hot and Cold on the Nook will begin sneaking his way in. I really like how he's doing this undercover. What I mean by that is under the cover of the audio coming out from the Dokkaebi there. You can hear that ringing off in the rafters. That's going to make it to where a lot of the audio of them moving around this base floor, especially for Hot and Cold, going to be a heck of a lot quieter, make it where they can potentially work their way under Pantry and deliver in the same way that we saw earlier on.
This is a blind nade, though, for Hot and Cold. He doesn't have information. I really think that the idea for Space Station here has got to be get info on these players on site and then start to send those nades on through. Don't send them in blind, because you'll miss your opportunity. Now, that one was blind, and while it was so close, it only does meager damage onto Ivan. Meanwhile, Ashen stepped up once again. Where are these kills going down? Toski tries to refrag. A success. But Fault's going down is only the first step of many that will be required. Ashen finally traded on back. As Ivan and Toski pick up the pieces of this round for Alpha Atheris. Space Station will not stop. They are incessant, and they still maintain the advantage with 45 seconds to play. Chasing him down. Hot and Cold will not give up so easily. And Ivan's missed the opportunity. Toski, what are you doing, mate? You can't be missing those fights. Hot and Cold lands the final kill. SSG have got to be thanking their lucky stars. They stole that round from Alpha.
The Scorpion Evo just... I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss at what we just witnessed right there. It's going to proc the immediate tactical timeout. And why wouldn't it? I mean, a 5-2 split right now. Alpha Atheris definitely had some better looks earlier on, but these defenses are not looking good to at least start here.
No, I mean, it really just came out from massive 2 kills from Ashen right at the start. I don't even know where that came from. I think he managed to sneak his way into Shrine and then just walk onto the bomb site. So Alpha Atheris, I think they might be in their own heads a little bit, and if anything, this tactical timeout shouldn't be about talking strategy, about talking tactics. The most important thing right now is chilling out. Guys, we know how to play this game. Space Station aren't doing anything out of this world. We can beat them. We just need to chill out, relax a little bit, stop making these micro mistakes and letting SSG steal these rounds.
I mean, dude, they were incredibly hyper-focused on what was happening around Geisha and the complete other portion of the map, to the point where nobody's playing Shrine and Drum. That's the most important part of the damn map.
You said it.
Like I swear to God, guys, if you go back to every map that I've ever casted, the opening thing I talk about is that central hallway every damn time. You wanna know why? Because it's the most annoying portion of this whole map. it just working through, you know, Dragon and Terrace, Drum, Shrine. That area is so difficult to work around for the offense because there's so many different ways that the defense can hold it and make it really difficult. And that's what we saw out of Space Station. That is the lacking level of, you know, depth that we're seeing out of Alpha Atheris. They had some angles built up that way, but they're vacant.
Yeah. Yeah, Space Station really showed a masterclass of it on their own defense. Alpha Atheris cannot match it. Now, at least we're seeing for Alpha a change of the bomb sites. Go over to Exhibition, which ironically, it's been far more successful this game than T-Room. Space Station definitely preferred it in particular. And this is quite an aggressive hold, in fact. It looks like there's an open external wall, and Hask has a very cheeky angle in conjunction with the shield and the reinforcement to try and put pressure on this external balcony.
Oh. We saw how things panned out for Space Station the last time around. Fantastic cadence, and it looks like they want to try and match that here again. Fultz has some easy access to a couple of these harder points, and it's going to be starting off with this here. EMP up, Electro Claw, or rather, Exothermic down, and Explosion out. That's going to be the single panel dealt with, and that will at least allow them a rotation in later on, all things considered. Also makes it where Fultz can be just a tad bit more active if he wants to be, as he's already gotten one of those jobs done, but you really don't want to lose that therm until you're able to at least get some pressure over on the double wall.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think Fultz is going to be able to breach the double wall since one of the walls has already been opened up. It's not safe to place Thermite on there. I don't know if that's how he died right there, but the long angle from Hask is successful. And Hard Breach solely relies on Ashen's secondary Hard Breach. As I say that, he goes down. Hask has found 2. Both Hard Breaches are out of the game. And SSG must now rely on the map control from Hot and Cold and Forest to pick up this round.
Well, the bare minimum, at least they do have some semblance of control over these walls. Like you said, the far one already having a breach in it from the defense, so they can play a little bit actively on that swing, and the single panel also being handled. Hot and Cold's going to hop the window and immediately get moving, but since he did hop that window, it's a different animation for her, and it makes it to where she makes that glitch when she hops in. So it might have been seen there, but J9O now opening things up. Kamikaze will go down.
What?
And oh my, not like this, Alpha Atheris. Once again, it's the same issue. It's just a portion of the map that they're not paying attention to. Somebody get him some glasses, because J9O is about to take them out. This is ridiculous. This should not happen, but yet here we are. Toski in a 1 versus 2 has a chance up against J9O. It's going to be an impact out that's going to create a new angle for him to try and work off of. Tries to work his way over towards the dry bar door. Forrest has found a home for this case as well. It's going to be up to Toski to try and solve this equation.
Can Forrest stick this? It doesn't matter. J9O's got it.
Yep.
How does this guy just jump on in, find 4 kills, and once again steal it from Alpha Atheris?
I just want to start cursing. I'm in the same boat. I'm just like, what the hell?
I caught myself. I caught myself.
Dude, yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah, this is something. And like the thing is about it is that Alpha Atheris is like actually just one decision away from being almost equal with Space Station in rounds. It's actually ludicrous. These last 2 rounds that Alpha Atheris has lost has strictly been because they're not paying attention where Space Station is attacking. That's it. Just straight up.
Wow. What a game.
And that one with a huge lead too.
I can't believe it's 6-2 right now.
So crazy.
This game could easily be 4-4. Space Station, they just keep stealing it out of nowhere. I don't know how else to put it, because Alpha Atheris, this is not like, it's a David and Goliath matchup going in, but Alpha Atheris have played pretty decently up until they just look the other way and let Space Station roll them.
Like a good parent, you got to turn a blind eye every once in a while, you know?
I don't think that applies to your Rainbow Six Siege defenses, I'm afraid. Oh, man. I mean, this is phenomenal for Space Station, because I'm sure they'll look back on this game and say, look, guys, we had a couple of things we didn't do right, but we absolutely killed it at taking advantage of every opening that they gave us. So let's keep that momentum. Let's get some confidence back. Ashen's been killing it. He should be fired up. This is his major debut. Keep that momentum moving into the upper bracket final. We are, of course, on a little bit of a technical pause at the moment as we sort out a player's monitor issue. And so guess what? You're going to have to see our beautiful faces.
Mine kind of less today.
No, I actually love it. I really
sir.
love it. I was going to say, we didn't actually get a chance to say this at the start, but I'm really glad to be casting with you for the
come
first
here,
time.
man. Come on.
Yeah,
Now we get to hug on camera.
Yeah,
there we are,
go.
guys. Yeah,
Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stewart. Brothers from other sides of the world. Awesome to finally have a cast with you, Sam.
Yeah, dude, seriously. We've been friends for 5 years. More than that, actually, because that was just me starting in esports. We've even known each other before that. So you knew me when I was casting in like 2016, which is just... I mean, 7 years ago, that's incredible,
It's been a long ride. And I would not have thought that we would be here in, 2023, casting in the state of Georgia together and talking about Space Station and Alpha Atheris, who finally are back in the server, Sam.
Oh, thank you, Lord, because I really wanted to see the conclusion of this game. Are we going to get Alpha Atheris on a heater for 4 rounds? Probably not. But
man, it's so hard to picture 4 rounds in a row. I'll give them 2 maybe if they can, get themselves together. But 4, that's just not going to happen.
Yeah, and the worst part about this is that Space Station is adding insult to injury. This is my favorite thing about this team is that they take every single game just like their last. They're always going to put in the same amount of work and try and get whatever they can out of their series. And you can see it here yet again. They were bringing the Monty. They're going to switch it out for the Lion. But, I mean, the point still stands. Space Station is doing their damnedest to make sure that they shut down Alpha Atheris.
Yeah. That's the thing. Go for the throat. Doesn't matter if they're down. You got to finish the job. And Space Station are showing no mercy whatsoever. This has got to be one of the more dominant games that we've seen. I don't actually know what is the closest, what is the least close, rather, the most dominant match we've seen so far. I'll do a little bit of trivia.
Ooh,
we did have DZ 7-2 Knights. That was a pretty dominant game. Okay. And this could be just as dominant here.
That was a pretty weird one as well. I don't know if any of you at home watched that lab series, but some awkward moments in that one for sure. Yeah, but either way.
I'll just say, on top of that, not a great day so far for Latin America, unfortunately. They've had 2 really challenging matches. As we said, Knights has already fallen. Alpha Atheris is still to play, but it's not been great so far.
Oh,
That's something.
Yeah, most definitely is. Don't call out, but nothing really to garner from it. You still have one in the back pocket of J90, and that is going to be hot and cold. He's usually the one trying to work his way in on, kind of the off the beaten path area. It's more than likely where he's going to go down here too.
That's what you expect when you see the knock. Nade's going down early though. It's a bit of a detriment to SSG. Far fewer explosive utility to try and clear the immense utility. We've got keeper barriers. Hang on a second. Toski's now found faults as well. Heartbreacher gone down. The Thinker Boost comes through, but that's certainly not going to bring either faults nor hot and cold back to life.
We're halfway through the round, but it's just Space Station bleeding so far. But here's the thing. I don't want to count him out of it just yet, because every single one of these rounds is built up to be just like this. Where Space Station somehow, some way gets punished early on, whether it be through clear or cheeky little discovery by Alpha Theris. But we reach the mid-round, and all of a sudden the adaptations start rolling in, the info that they garnered from earlier in the round starts to affect their play, and they're able to win it out time and time again. And honestly, with that first pick, I'm going to call it right now, I really think that SSG is going to take this 7-2, and I don't even know the way that they're going to do it. I really don't. We're going to find out together. We'll see if I'm wrong.
Big call. J90 and Ashen are still alive, both of them! Forrest, what a nade from below, perfectly timed. Ivan never saw it coming. 3v3 now, and there's no doubt about it. This advantage is for SSG. Hask is taking a lot of damage, and he's not able to get any shots back the other way. As we see Forrest once again marching on forward. J90 takes down Kamikaze. It's all up to Jay and Hask, and marching on forward. Jay will hold the line. J90 and Ashen have taken down Forrest now with it all to do in the 1v2, 20 seconds to play. And Nate cooked. They hear it. Will they land the shot? It doesn't matter, because Hask has come around the corner and staved off yet another round for Alpha Atheris.
Sound like a good old Stokes curse to keep us alive, baby. There we go.
They say more of that, please, Stokes.
Oh, man. What a moment there for Space Station, though. Same for Alpha Atheris can be said, but Space Station losing that round by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, Jay found a double, and that was it.
Yeah, that was genuinely it. And also, if I believe it was Ashen that was on the entry on that right-hand door there for T. If he didn't have that awkward moment with the Legion bouncing and not knowing which target to really choose, that round is more than likely theirs, and you and I are talking about a closed-out series.
Yeah. Well, another round. It's got to be one at a time here for Alpha Atheris. Now, of course, if you look at the scoreboard, don't be fooled. There has been that technical rehost we had, so these are not the complete kill counts, but I think it's, what, 2 or 3? It's going to be at least 3 rounds we've had so far, right? Ivan and Kamikaze yet to find frags.
Well, it has to be 4 because people have 4 deaths.
Oh, really? Okay, so there you go. Kamikaze's got 4 deaths. So 4 rounds now since the rehost, and Kamikaze and Ivan still on the donut. Yeah, not a great look. I don't know what's gone wrong for that team, but it's been very much... I don't know, one-sided. It's been very heavily on players like Hask, and in that round, it was Jay finding those 2 picks.
Yeah, as you were saying, it kind of tends to lean back into that for them more. It's just like a very individualistic type of path that they've been walking. And it's, I mean, it can be good at certain moments in time, right? But Rainbow Six Siege is a team game. You really need to address it as such in your utility game and your clear, and it's just something that Alpha Theris aren't doing exactly a bang-up job of. Obviously, they're aware of these things. They are trying to use these things to the maximum potential of their ability. It's just that it's Space Station, baby. Like, I mean, it's hard to try and, take this team to town in these kind of parameters.
Yeah, very much so. SSG, despite ups and downs, they are still SSG, and they will punish a team that doesn't dot their I's and cross their T's. We've seen gaps in the armor for Alpha Atheris this game.
Ready.
1D out there for Ashen. I believe we still have a call on J90 as well that can be utilized. They're really taking their time this time.
They are. This is good info, though, for J90. He's not overcommitting this drone. So close to the bomb site. I really like the way Space Stations start these attacks, Sam, on the exhibition side. They just open up that wall, they lurk on the other side of the map, and they start exploring their options.
Yeah, they're very patient, and it's something that can, give you over some big moments, or it's something that can be exploited if you're not watching the proper angles at the proper times, and that's going to be a big discovery there for Alpha Atheris, is they'll send one outside, they'll be able to find Ashen and tie him down. Hot and Cold's going to get pricked here on the stairwell and be able to pull out that thorn in his side and try and waltz his way back over towards potentially the restaurant stairs. Forrest has gotten inside of Geisha here too, but doesn't seem like he really has anybody in the same zip code. We've got a couple people over here in the drumline / shrine area. And actually, the entire team of Alpha Theris in that main hallway, minus Ivan right here.
Yeah, it's your favorite hallway, right? Ivan's gone down below, though, and he's playing a little bit of game of cat and mouse with hot and cold here. I'm not sure if there's information either direction at the moment, but as soon as one shoots or sprints, the other will be aware. Have a look at this from Ivan. Okay, here comes the nade from hot and cold. That's perfect. But now there's going to be info on for Ivan. He has to make this flank work. He's so patient, perhaps too patient, coming around the corner now. Hot and cold takes his head clean off. 4v3 now for SSG.
You really never know when hot and cold is just going to decimate somebody, even if he doesn't know they're there. I mean, Ivan is waiting for so long on that angle, just anticipating him to swing back through delivery, and instead he is delivered.
This is going to be a nuts shot for Fultz to land through the bars, but he gets the better of Jay, and it has all fallen to pieces for Alpha Theris. Space stations sweep through, and J90 secures the final kill as the first dub of the day for SSG is taken 7-3.